Alright, so today I'm going to show you my water filtration inquiry activity. So where to begin? Probably like a lot of you guys, you're kind of lost in the beginning of like, where do you even start? I didn't know what order I should put the materials in. I didn't know how much of each material I should use. I didn't even think that sand could really clean water because I'm used to seeing, at the beach, sand making the water, cloudy, having particles floating around and such. And I really struggled where to start in the beginning because I'm such a rule follower and I like set of directions to follow. So I kind of struggled in the beginning of where to start. So I kind of did a little bit of research to try to see how can I look at the Earth's model to see how I can use the materials I was given to do the same kind of water filtration system. So infiltration is the process by which water is naturally filtered by the Earth. So I was looking at the different layers, like the humus layer where the roots are, and I kind of saw that as maybe like the mesh screen. The topsoil, similar to charcoal, the subsoil like sand, weathered rock fragments like alum, and the bedrock as the gravel rocks. So here I have my first video clip. I'll just start playing it for you in the background. You could feel free to watch it later, but you probably won't hear the volume for some reason, but I'll just show you that the dirty water that I found was from a local pond. I added some mulch in, some extra rocks and stones to make it very dirty and mushy. I used my mesh screen for the top to kind of get out all the fine big particles. I had sand, charcoal, and then gravel rocks at the bottom bedrock stage. I didn't do a video for the second attempt. I didn't put that in my screencast, but I have a picture to the right that shows the dirty water, the first attempt and the second attempt right side by side of each other. And as you can see, they were pretty similar in the shade of color. So they look pretty cloudy. They still have like a dirty look to them. I did catch a lot of the particles through the mesh, but it was still pretty dirty. All right, so let's look at my third attempt. This is my final attempt that I did, and this is where I got the water the clearest. I started with putting alum in the dirty water base and I let it in there for about 30 plus minutes. When I did some research on alum, I saw that like the longer you leave it in there, and stirring it around, it really helps the particles bond together, and sink and drop to the bottom to separate them. So for this third final attempt, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to use all the materials that I can think of and the best way to kind of catch everything to make it the clearest drinking water. So I started with the mesh on top, the mesh screener. I had charcoal inside a coffee filter. I had sand inside a coffee filter. Then alum inside a coffee filter, giving it extra alum, clarifying. And then at the bottom I had the gravel rocks inside a coffee filter. I kind of did the coffee filter almost with every stage because I really wanted to catch everything I could each time it drops below. So at the end of this activity, I could really see how this was strictly learner self-directed. The learner, the student in this activity is coming up with everything. They're coming up with how much materials they want to use, what materials and where to put them. They're trying to figure out, what's the best solution, in the steps to follow, what order to put these in. How long should I put alum in? When should I put alum in? The learners coming up with like problems and solutions on their own, and they're being able to justify at the end, why their system worked best. So this is a great activity for really getting students to be, independent and having freedom in their learning. Here's my resources page.